looking forward to Samuel Pin. I enjoy seeing him play. I got a bit of him in Hugh Campbell. Um, can shoot the long ball, so I'm really looking forward to him.
That tandem is going to be a big deal for them tonight. What about Temple Christian? They've been playing pretty good basketball consistently for the entire season.
Well, with Temple Christian, they get it done by committee. It's not so much one-star players, so much good coaching, great defense. They look to lock you down. So it'll be interesting to see how their defense matches up against these two-star players.
All right, so we're ready to go here with the matchup between St. George's and Temple Christian from the St. George's gym here in Freeport, Grand Bahama. Easy tap. Pinder, Sammy having some trouble with it. But it's going to remain St. George's ball. On the inbound, my apologies for Temple Christian. TC gets it around, inside, the drive, the drop, and it's going to be an offensive foul apparently called on Christian Sturp from Temple Christian.
And this is strange because Samuel Pinder usually plays off the ball. They have him starting on ball, looking to work something new in this game here against Temple Christian.
Passing out, St. George's back around, shot clock at 12, looking for something. Defense from Temple Christian too strong. TC on the drive, Dayton Albury 4-2.
There you have it again, that swarming team defense that they play so well, coached from Coach Smith. They look to trap the majority of the game, one of the few teams that does that.
St. George is trying to even things up here early. Sammy with the rock, gets it back. Lots of confusion. Temple Christian's defense forces the turnover. 6 seconds on the shot clock. The drive, no good there for Khashoggi Pinder from St. George's, but a lot of contact.
You want your player to take a charge in that position. When in this high school tournament specifically, when you see them come down the lane, it's almost like an automatic foul just waiting to happen. You can see it about to happen, and it happens the majority of the time.
At the line, shooting 2 for St. George's, Christopher Johnson. He hasn't been shooting free throws too well during this tournament, nor this morning, and he misses the first one there.
That was one of the keys to their loss as well.
Misses both. St. George's with the attempted putback. 2 offensive rebounds, and finally back out into the hands of Dwayne Gale. Gale for the 3. No good. Temple Christian with the rebound.
With Temple Christian, you can't really tell who is going to have a big game, but you just know they'll fight together as a team and find a way.
TC moving the rock around, fires from Albury. Albury misses. Gareth Edgecombe came down with the rebound. Still sloppy ball handling from both teams early on.
Yeah, it's interesting. A lot of St. George's best players haven't had any touches yet, so you could kind of tell that they're just trying to figure out, and you know, it's maybe their first time seeing Temple Christian for the year as well, so just a bit of a feel-out process right now.
Can't remember if they bucked heads in Hugh Campbell, but it's a rarity for the two of them to match up. Johnson thinks about it, hands it back out, inside, outside again. Shot clock violation, and I am sure that Coach Sears is not having a good time right now.
And once again, there you have it, that swarming team defense that they play. And even down to their bench, the 15th man even plays that kind of intense defense.
Temple Christian still cautiously moving the rock around. Back outside, inside, thinks about it, no good. Christian Sturp fires the long ball for 3.
If you look at it, that's the 4th 3 they've taken so far. They're not shying away from taking it. That's usually George's strong suit.
St. George's back up, trying to get their first score for the game. The drive from Khashoggi Pinder for their first score of the game, almost 3 minutes into this matchup.
I'm surprised it wasn't Pinder that got that first one on the board for them. He's usually their primary scorer and their first scorer.
Temple Christian again, trying to take early advantage. Back outside, Christian Stirrup for three, no good. The rebound pulled down by Theodore Grant for St. George's. They thought about the fast break, thinking about it again. Grant with the spin, he's stripped. On the run for Temple Christian. Kirkwood Smith tries to pass it off, but they still get the foul out of it.
The risky pass paid off. You know his coach would have been upset if he threw a behind-the-back pass for no reason and he turned it over. But sometimes the risk yields a reward.
Because he did have a completely clear path there going into that.
Well, sometimes the high school players like to make a little highlight play, especially because they know it's live.
And because they know it's live. Second chance opportunity there by Gareth Edgecombe, pardon me, for Temple Christian, and they go up 7 real quick here on St. George's. Uncharacteristic play from St. George's today. Outside to Butters. Butters for the three. Hits the lip. Comes back off. St. George's with the rebound. Loses control. Temple Christian gets it, and it's going to be a jump ball possession. And it looks as if it's going to stay St. George's ball.
I like the way Gareth Edgecombe is playing this game for Temple Christian so far. He's been aggressive. He's shooting the long ball. And a few of them, even the ones that missed, they're pretty spot on. So he looks to be off to a good start.
(9-2) St. George's trailing Temple Christian. St. George's looking, still playing that outside game. Long rock from Nicholas Jones. That bounces around to no one in particular, but it's Temple Christian pulling it down, off to the races again. Past 3 defenders. And again, it doesn't seem as if there's a stop right now for Temple Christian.
And if you look at it, like I said earlier, almost every TC player is on the board already. They do it by committee. They just wear you down.
Foul there. It looks as if it was Christopher Johnson going up and was fouled. It looks as if it was from Nicholas Jones.
Right now, St. George's is just trying to find some footing. They need to see a shot go in right now. I don't know if a free throw will get it done or a long ball, but they need to see something go in hoop right now.
St. George's not used to being in this position of being down this early in a matchup.
And yesterday we talked a lot about how much being down 10 in a 6-minute game, how that plays on the mind and how that usually depresses teams. Temple Christian got St. John's down about 10 to 15 early, just like they have Georges down now, and they weren't able to recover. That wound up being a 20-point win.
Big game for both of these teams. St. George's had a loss today to Gateway Christian Academy out of...
I don't want to say a Cinderella team, but feels like it.
And then Temple Christian also playing for their life right now. They got a win over St. John's today in that A pool, and then they lost to C.I. Gibson yesterday, 59-52. A close one there. Temple Christian again. Jump ball, it looks as if that's what it was. Not sure. Yep, that's exactly what they got on that one, a jump ball. So it will be staying on this end of the court for Temple Christian.
And on St. George's end, I'm surprised to see Paul Green in the game. He struggled a bit with that hand injury during the Hugh Campbell tournament. As you can see, he's still heavily bandaged at this point. He doesn't even use it for the most part.
Long J from Stirrup. Temple Christian picks back up the rebound. 10 on the shot clock. Fires again. Albury can't connect. Pulling down the rebound is Sammy Pinder again for St. George's. St. George's trying to make something on the fast break. Thinks about it. Almost lost control.
It's as if this defense has him puzzled.
Offensive foul. The offensive foul there from St. George's. Down there low. And again, St. George is still trailing by 9. 11-2 with 1:18 to go in this first quarter.
The Suns have really impressed me coming out, the way they've been so aggressive.
TC spins it around. Almost looking as if they're trying to burn up the clock. Long three. And Theo knows, like you said, they're playing by committee here tonight.
It's tough to be the team that plays that way, though. It's so hard to focus on any one aspect of their game.
Sammy with the drive, gets 2 for St. George's. And the lead still 10. Temple Christian up on St. George's, under 30 seconds to go in this first quarter. Temple Christian.
And they're in no hurry. They play with such a good pace.
I wouldn't be in a hurry either if I'm up 10 on a powerhouse team like St. George's. 6 on the shot clock. Temple Christian, the drive, pulls back out, lips up. And it's Paul Green, pulls it off to the races. Thinks again about it, spinning it around. Temple Christian with the steal. He will not hold on to it, but he could be safe at first.
Good effort, though. Now you force St. George to come all the way back with just 3 seconds left. That's a great effort.
So with just 3.9 seconds to go, St. George's trying to get a last-second shot here from Sammy Pinder. No good. They can't even convert on this, and it just seems as if just things aren't working out right now for St. George's.
I didn't think they expected this from Temple Christian the way they're playing. They jumped out, shooting the three, something they didn't do earlier, especially in their game against St. John's. So they're giving you a lot of different looks from a lot of different players.
So St. George's trying to put something together. This is highly uncharacteristic for them to be this far down, this early in a match.
And if you're Coach Smith for Temple Christian, you're just saying take your time. Don't get overwhelmed by the moment, and don't get too confident with the lead. Don't get too cute with it. Just hold on to it, play nice, smart basketball. The basketball that got you this 10-point lead early.
What does Temple Christian do coming into this second quarter, you think?
I think they just spread them out. They continue to press. I guess Green is a bit hampered with that hand, so he's not much of a facilitator that he was in Hugh Campbell. So you want to keep the pressure on him, and you want to keep Pinder from getting any open threes to give any momentum.
St. George's has to come up with a different game plan completely at this point.
St. John's has to get more up on their guards. Their guards came up. St. George's guards came up kind of short. A lot of turnovers. They had about 2 each from the starting guards. They look to swap them out right now, but they have to have better guard play.
So again, here we go, second quarter between St. George's and Temple Christian. Temple Christian leading St. George's 14-4 here on live coverage of the 2019 High School National Championships for basketball from the St. George's Gymnasium in Freeport, Grand Bahama. St. George's trying to put something together. I think that's Paul Green trying to get in, and he's fouled.
But you can see the defense is still there. Even out of the break, it's still there. They want this game because they know how important this is. And think about it. You eliminate St. George's from the rest of the field for the remainder of this tournament.
And you would think St. George's has a little bit of home court advantage here.
But sometimes that hinders you too, though. With so much pressure, all your friends from school, family come to see you. Sometimes being the away team is a benefit.
Yep. Green hits both. Temple Christian's lead cut down to 8, 14-6, 5:35 here in this second quarter. Looks like it was a foul. On Sammy Pinder, pardon me, on Chris Johnson. And just like that, he's substituted out of the game.
That's not what they needed at this current time.
And that's his second foul very early on. So, of course, Coach Sears is, in his own way, livid. Temple Christian sizing him up. 2 seconds on the shot clock. Defense from St. George's is swarming there, and hopefully they can put that together if they want to hold on for this game.
He got lost in the dribble just now. He heard the oohs and ahs from the crowd and held on to it just a bit too long.
Temple Christian takes the timeout. I'm surprised it took Coach this long.
Well, he doesn't want to lose that lead. He knows how demoralizing it can be when you go up big and then you get down, and how hard it is to come back. So he just wants to, go over how important it is to hold on at this time.
So Temple Christian still leading St. George's 14-6 early on in this second quarter. And again, St. George's, like I said, uncharacteristic of them to be in this situation.
It's interesting to see who will take the lead for St. George's, though, because I kind of feel Green wants to come out and take that lead, but he might be hindered. But Pinder hasn't even come to the ball at all so far in this game. He has to be the aggressive if they're going to win this game.
Pinder looking for an outlet. 15 on the shot clock. Nobody's open right now. Temple Christian taps it back out of bounds.
It's like they're daring him to shoot that long ball, though. He played him about 5 feet away from behind the three-point line.
Sammy can shoot it inside and from outside. Theodore Grant gets the pick, doesn't use it. 4 seconds on the shot clock. St. George's firing out with the rebound. Paul Green. Green tries to put it up, and it's good.
He's starting to get it going a bit now. It's a second basket and a few free throws. They started slow in the earlier game as well.
St. George's just chipping at that lead, down by 6 now on Temple Christian. 10 on the shot clock. Temple Christian can't find anyone open with the drive, and he's fouled. Aubrey is fouled, and it looks as if it was fouled by Theodore Grant.
You don't want the TC team to start taking it too lightly, to think that they have a loss to play with as well, just because they're undefeated so far.
Inbound from Temple Christian. Gale can't find anybody. Long ball by Gale now. Bounces back out into the hands of Butters. Butters gets it to Green. Green brings it up. Looking for someone. In the corner is Pinder. Looks like everybody's going to touch the ball on this possession for St. George's just about. And they're fouled with just 4 minutes to go here in the second.
Took a play out of the Suns book on that last play. About 4 different guys got a touch, 5 passes.
Almost went dark just now. Theodore Grant shooting 2 for St. George's. His first point of the game. His second one there as well. And like you said, Paul Green definitely the mastermind so far for St. George's, leading them with 6 points at this point.
But that's key when you have 2 great high school players. Anyone can turn it on at any time, so you're never really out of the game.
Butters with his first block. I'm sure that's not going to be his only one of the night. 3 seconds on the shot clock for Temple Christian, whose lead that they saw up by 10 is now cut to 4. Fires, no good. Butters with the taps back to a Temple Christian Suns player. No foul on that one on the drive by Aubrey.
It was a good move, though. I know you always want to finish plays like that. He missed him wide open on the wing.
Jump ball situation right now. It will go back to Temple Christian. So right in the mix for St. George's was Khashoggi Pinder. Temple Christian moving it around again. Back out. Oh! A lot of contact there as Stirrup went up for 2.
That's a nice, strong move, though. When you're not getting the calls you feel you might want, you still have to be aggressive. You can't cry and complain about it. I like that move.
Miss from St. George's. Looks as if it was Butters that got the rebound. Tried to go back up and was fouled. Was it Butters? No, it was Green.
He's working hard on the inside right now. He doesn't want his team to lose. He knows how important this is. And you're going to have to watch the rest of the tournament every day when you come to school.
Yeah.
Right?
Green hits that one. That's his 7th point so far of the game. He's got 7 points, 2 rebounds. Second one, no good. St. George's can't hold on to it. Butters tipped it. They could not hold on to it. Back into the hands of Temple Christian. Trying to make something of this. Their lead down by 5, up by 5, pardon me. Aubrey tries the layup, no good. Edgecombe cleans it up.
Like I say, he's been strong for them all night. He continues to play aggressive, despite getting hit on the inside.
Block there by St. George's, and a very sloppy, unsportsmanlike foul. That's technically a breakaway foul that you would be accustomed to in the NBA, but it's called an unsportsmanlike clear path foul in FIBA. So going to the line to shoot 2 and possession will be Aubrey from Temple Christian. He makes the first one.
If you remember, Aubrey scored, I think, 40 in the Hugh Campbell game, so he could really heat up. It's one to keep an eye on.
Well, he's got 7 so far with that first of 2 free throws. And it looks as if Coach Sears has that livid look on his face. Well, they were chipping into it, and now they were down. They were within 4. Now they're back up 8.
Well, what happened is Temple Christian weathered the storm. They were able to get past Green, making a few layups, a few free throws, and a few rebounds, working his way back into the game, getting the feel for the game. So they held on, and that's what happens when you have a solid team.
What is Temple Christian going to have to do right now?
Just more of the same. They're playing a pretty good game right now. Not to make too many changes, just to adapt to whatever St. George's does. But right now, I think they just can play at the same pace, because if you look at it, the momentum is starting to shift back into their favor.
Yep. So coming out of the timeout, Temple Christian Suns still up 19-11 on the Jaguars from St. George's. 2:34 here in this second quarter. Temple Christian with the long J, no good. Butters tries to pull it down. He does not. Gets it into the hands of Green. Green can't hold on to it. The errant pass really bad. Grant with a very poorly timed pass. And luckily for them, St. George's gets the rock back.
He didn't hear about that first behind-the-back pass, but he's going to hear about that one.
He's going to have to listen to you. So an opportunity now for St. George's, bringing it up. Sammy Pinder gets it back out to Gale. Gale goes inside to Green. Green, no good. And it's Micah Moss that tries to pull it down and goes up and will get fouled.
But even if you look at that inbound, that deep post pass just now, even though it ended up in free throws, it was almost a near turnover. St. George's really needs some stronger play for their guards. They really need to hold on to the ball.
Micah Moss at the line for St. George's, trying to cut into this lead. Temple Christian up 19-11.
It's not bad going against their home school heading into halftime.
Second one no good, but it looks as if there was a lane violation on Temple Christian. So we're going to try this one again. Looks as if there is a warning on the coach from Temple Christian as well. So again, Micah Moss shooting his second free throw again after the violation. He makes it. Now the lead down to 7, with the Jaguars still trailing 19-12 on the Suns from Temple Christian.
Well, that warning shows that the coaches feel the pressure too. It's not just the players in the moment.
2 minutes to go here in this first half of this matchup. Temple Christian passing the rock around. Terrence DeVoe with the pick. Driving up, it is Aubrey again, no good. Green pulls down the rebound. He tries to bring it up, looking for an outlet. He's double teamed. Finally out to Gale again. Gale to Moss. Moss driving. Outside to Green. Green goes up, thinks about it, passes it off. Finally into Sammy Pinder. Nobody can get anything out of this. Temple Christian off to the races, driving. It's that Euro step from Albury. 4-2. And they're back up and in control of this game. 9 points again.
And you have to keep in mind, when you have a player that can go for 40, it could be an offensive explosion at any time.
Dwayne Gale trying to slash. He's fouled. He's only about 5 feet some and got tapped going on that slash, so he's going to go to the line to shoot 2.
He's fearless, though. Despite his size, he's fearless.
He was strong in the preseason tournament, the C.I. Gibson Providence tournament in Nassau. He had put up really great numbers at Hugh Campbell, and he's trying to bring them back into it here right now. 21-13, 1:14 to go, and he hits that one, cutting the lead back to 7 that the Temple Christian Suns has on the Jaguars. Suns back out. Third touch for the Suns. 10 seconds on the shot clock. The opening happened. It closed up very quickly. And it's like it's going to be a foul. And we'll be taking it out of bounds.
This is the right kind of pace to play with when you're up there. Not too fast, no turnovers.
They're very methodical in their play.
St. George's players got to worry about fouling out.
Yeah, at this point, Paul Green went up, challenging at that point. Stirrup from Temple Christian, they collided, but it was Green that got the foul.
They had 2 fouls to give before the bonus, and they used both fouls within 30 seconds.
And that's Green's second foul. Christian Stirrup misses the first, gets the second. Back up 8, the Temple Christian Suns on the Jaguars. 22-14, 54 seconds. Butters outside the Gale. Gale back with the rock. He hits it out on the Sammy Pinder. Sammy looks for a drive. He gets through, tries to hand off to Butters, and no good.
I'm telling you, that defense is just, they're running almost like a boxing one, but it switches.
Yep.
It goes from Pinder sometimes, and then it switches to Green.
Dayton Albury. Temple Christian loses control, off to the races. Micah Moss again. And what would we call that, a rejection?
That's just a Showtime block. That's a block when you know you're on live television. That's what that was.
TC Suns still up 22-14, 27 seconds to go in this half, and 21 on the shot clock at this point. Pinder to Gale, back to Pinder. Pinder inside. Butters can't keep a hold of it. Temple Christian coming with the drive. Going up real quick, Nicholas Jones for Temple Christian, no good. The rebound by Gale. Seconds to go. Pinder inside to, that was Butters, and they just lost control. And I think that's so very indicative of the type of game that St. George's has been playing.
Like I'm telling you, this defense has them confused. They don't know what to do. Because the box switches so much, their star players can't get it going. And when their star players can't get it going, it leaves it to the role players to try to lead the way. And it's a difference. It's a reason why they're role players and why they're star players.
And the irony of it is that right now St. George's is leading this rebound game. They're up 16-11 in rebounds on Temple Christian.
Well, what it is a lot of empty possessions, though. So they might get a second, third chance, but it usually ends in a turnover or a bad shot. So although they're winning the rebounding battle because they're naturally just a bigger team, they're not putting it to work. They're not being effective.
Paul Green right now leading St. George's with 7 points and 4 rebounds. Over on Temple Christian side, like you said, this is almost by committee. 9 points from Dayton Albury, 6 points from Christian Stirrup. 3 from Theo Knowles, 4 from Gareth Edgecombe. So they're all over the place. Nobody really standing out, but like you said, this could be a committee decision for them.
Well, it's hard to defend a team that plays like that because there's no weak link. If you look at it, their starting 5, everyone has 6 or more points, which is rare for this level of play. So first of all, you have to tip your hat to the coaches for getting everyone involved and knowing where everyone wants to be. Now for Georges, I'm not sure what they're going to do because they aren't playing great defense. Their offense isn't working. It might just be down to an effort thing.
2 telling statistics that we're seeing here on the fast break points. Right now, Temple Christian has 8 fast break points compared to no fast break points from St. George's. And fast break points is where they're recording it when the defense hasn't set up. So this may be telling us that Temple Christian is beating their defense and St. George's needs to shore up their defense.
Well, what it is too is that they've mastered the change of pace. So if you look on offense, they're playing a very slow, methodical game. But on defense, they like to try to speed St. George's up. So it's the change of pace that St. George's can't really adapt to and have struggled to adapt to so far.
And also, we talked about the rebounds. Right now, St. George's is leading the rebounding game.
Right.
But points in the paint, it's a 2-to-1 disparity. Temple Christian has gotten 12 points in the paint compared to 6 from St. George's. And St. George's has the bigger team.
Well, if you look at it, though, a lot of those are wide open drives to the rim. Dayton Aubrey had about 4 himself just get into the rim. A lot of the St. George's defenders, their best defenders are wing players. So once you get past them, there's not much on the inside to stop Temple Christian.
After taking a look at the stats, what does Temple Christian do different coming out now?
Like I said earlier, I like the way they're playing. They just stand firm. If St. George's makes a run, then you try to step it up and speed the game up a bit, but you want to keep it at this same pace right here. You want to keep it nice and level.
What does the Jaguars from St. George's do? What do they have to do if they want to get back into this game right now down 8?
They have to speed Temple Christian up on offense. Right now, they're letting them set picks, call plays, and just take their time with the ball. You have to speed them up, see what their guards can do. Use your length in Pinder and Green and try to force some turnovers.
If any team can do it, do you think it's this Hugh Campbell runner-up from this year?
I think they have the talent in Green and Pinder to do it, but they got to get a move on it. You can't let at least 2 minutes pass in this third quarter without you cutting into this lead.
And again, this is a strong team. This is a team that made it to the Hugh Campbell championship, and they played spectacular basketball there against a spectacular team, and this is not characteristic of them. Well, what do you think it is? Is it just it's been a long season? Is it that they've never played TC and don't know what to do? What do you think it is?
I think TC is showing what they should have done in the BISS championships. They're just playing a great brand of basketball. If you saw St. John's as a team that won BISS and they beat them easily, 20-point lead. So you're just looking at a team that got better since the season ended, and now they're just in their prime form right now.
All right, so we're just a few minutes away now as you see Temple Christian and St. George's coming back out onto the court. And again, I like to look at players when they come back out. St. George's players do have their heads down in a few instances, especially when you look at their top players like Green and Butters. Butters is usually one of those who come out very hyped for the team, but his head is down and looking, I wouldn't want to say despondent, because I think that would be like over-exaggeration, but this is not the Butters, this is not the Green, this is not the Sammy Pinder that I'm used to seeing.
Well, it's tough when you're doing your all and the team just keeps pouring it on you, so it's easy to get a bit depressed, a bit dejected, but they're going to have to do better if they want to survive in this game.
All right, so here we go, second half action at the 2019 High School Basketball Championships from Freeport, Grand Bahama. And right off the top there, St. George's with a travel. That's not the way they're going to want to start if they're going to be in any contention at this point.
Their guards have let them down up to this point. They really have to step it up. Every player has almost ended in a turnover. Only times they've scored is on broken plays.
Yep. Defense there from Sammy Pinder. Sammy Pinder gets it into Green. Green loses control and had a really great opportunity there to score.
When you're down, you can't commit 2 turnovers in 30 seconds. That's not how you get back in it.
TC driving baseline, comes back out into the hands of Aubrey. Aubrey with the long 3, no good. Scramble and a scrum on the ground, and it's going to be a jump ball. Almost looked like a rugby scrub there for a minute.
Yeah, they're just playing like they know what's at stake right now. They know going into the next round undefeated bodes well for them, and they know that they won't have to see this team again, so that bodes well for them as well.
10 seconds on the shot clock. Smith thinks about it. Hands it off. 4 on the shot clock. Temple Christian may not realize it, and it looks right there, Aubrey passing it to nobody in particular.
A mental lapse. Just a bit of a mental lapse.
So here comes St. George's. Grant out to Johnson. Johnson to Pinder. Pinder to Green. Green drives, and he's fouled right there. It looks as if it was the foul will be picked up by Christian Stirrup. If that's him, that will be his 3rd foul of the day.
Now, that could be something that changes the tide. Foul trouble can change the tide because when your best defenders go to the bench, players like Green, that's a field day for him.
That is Christian Stirrup's 3rd foul for Temple Christian. Green at the line hits his first free throw.
Even when they were down at Hugh Campbell, though, he was the one willing them back.
Yep.
He never gave up.
This is the second. Sammy Green pulls down the rebound. Wild pass there from Sammy. Grant out to Johnson. Johnson, I think he looks as if he was fouled.
When on a play like that, I want Grant to at least try to make a play. Make them have to play defense on you to help your star players get loose.
The shot no good there from St. George's. And it looks like the ball will come back on that errant pass. Back to St. George's. St. George's still trailing 22-15, 4:42 to go in this 3rd quarter. Inbound. Grant with the rock. Passes out to Pinder. Pinder looking for an outlet. Gets it to Christopher Johnson. Johnson able to put it away, and they're chipping away ever so slightly. It's a 5-point game right now.
Now, will the defense hold up? The offense is starting to roll. Will the defense hold up for them down the stretch?
Jones with the funny-looking jumper there. They're having problems getting it back up. St. George's, the steal there from Stirrup. Stirrup in a very precarious position, but that heavy defense paid off.
And there you go again. Once again, another turnover by a George's guard.
Grant takes it himself. Can't hold on to it, pulling it down for Temple Christian. Kirkwood Smith fires it out to nobody in particular, and it's going to be St. George's ball.
Yeah, but that play by Grant, even if he misses a few of those, that's something I want him to do. I want him taking shots like that. I want him driving to make himself an option.
Timeout call from Temple Christian. They're still up 24-17 with just about 3 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. But right now, this has been up and down, I should say, and back and forth. So I don't know what Coach Sears is going to tell these guys to try to get them back into it.
Well, what it is George's has only mustered up enough just to get within 7, within 5, and then they usually shoot themselves in the foot with a bad turnover. So if they can piece together a run and just hold steady on the offensive end, not trying to get too creative, but remaining aggressive while doing it, they want to see this league get to 3. And ultimately, then it will be a game from there.
So again, right now, 24-17. The Suns from Temple Christian leading the Jaguars from St. George's. 3:46 to go in the 3rd. Jaguars with the possession. Pinder thinks about it himself. Outside to Chris Johnson. Johnson gets his own rebound and puts it up. Cuts the lead now to 5. 2 away from that magical 3 that you're talking about.
Yeah, it gives you a different kind of confidence when you get within 3. You know you're just a basket away.
Butters with the steal. Oh! Paul Green is bumped very hard going up. Coach Sears is begging for an unsportsmanlike foul.
A little friendly back and forth, though. You have to let him play just a bit.
Okay, that was a kind of hard foul.
No, I'm talking about the back and forth.
Oh, okay. Green hits the first of 2. Lead down to 4 now, and he can make it 3. Does not
what that hard foul is going to do is get him going. You see him sprinting down.
And he did just now, almost on cue. Paul cuts over there, going after the rock. Disrupts the Temple Christian play there.
I like that kind of player, though. He doesn't fold when things get chippy. He's ready to get aggressive right back. That's the kind of player you need leading your team.
I like that phrase, chippy.
Yeah, chippy. You know, that's right in between. It's not too serious, but it's physical.
TC gets the rock in. Aubrey looking for an outlet. Back to Aubrey. Aubrey trying to drive baseline, but he's bumped.
But that's what makes this a good game, though, because Aubrey is not going to back down either.
Yep.
And he's a high-powered offensive player.
12 on the shot clock. Offensive foul there called on Kirkwood Smith from Temple Christian. Looks as if he pushed the hand off, and I think that was almost textbook there, that call.
They're right in it right now, and if you look at it, the momentum is in the Jaguars' favor right now.
Green for three, no good. Pulling down the rebound, Nicholas Jones off to the races, tries to take it himself, no good, and coming down with the rebound is none other than Paul Green. You said that's going to fire him up. May take it himself. Outside to Grant. Grant fires out again, this time to Sammy Pinder, no good. Yeah. And the Jaguars are just hustling to get this rock.
They need Pinder to put the ball in the basket if they want to get over that hump, though. He's the last thing they need to get going now. The offense is rolling. The guards are showing up a bit. Now they just need him to complete it.
Temple Christian. Aubrey with the drive, no good. Temple Christian comes back out. Looks like he got away possibly with the travel there. 9 seconds on the shot clock. The hustle is on. Going forward is Gail Dwayne. He misses, and the putback cleanup by Khashoggi Pinder.
Yeah, but it was him being aggressive and going to the rim that made that play. If he just brought it out and passed it back, who knows what would have happened there.
TC up by as much as 10. Their lead cut down to 2, 24-22. The drive from TC, no good. The rebound pulled down by Sammy Pinder.
The pressure is definitely on.
Green to Pinder. Back to Green for the dunk. Down 10.
Remember what I said about that foul?
Down 10, yep. They're back in it. This is a new ball game, folks. 136. We're tied at 24. And Temple Christian looks like they were begging for a timeout, but you can't get it like that. Who pulls down the rebound this go round? None other than Paul Green again. He's hustling, gets the rock out. Khashoggi Pinder now gets them up by 2.
He gets me caught up watching the game. I'm just trying to see what he's going to do next. He brought them with an injury at that. He's bringing his team back. Once again.
Jumper to nobody in particular, Aubrey. That's pulled down by Paul Green, and Green is fouled. And he's going to the line, it looks like, to shoot 2.
The look he has on his face is now, I got it rolling now. What y'all going to do?
Yep.
And that's the way he's playing. He's taking it to them every play.
And it seems as if, like you talk about the tide shifting, when you look at some of the Temple Christian players right now, they look almost frustrated.
Right, because now you had him boxed in. You thought you had him quiet, but like I said, you talk a little bit of back and forth, a little bit of chippy play, and now he's right back in it.
This chippy play you talk about.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Green hits that one. The Jaguars up 27-24 after being down by as much as 10.
This is going to be interesting down the stretch in the fourth quarter, though. Because if you look at it, St. Georges is basically fighting for their lives in this tournament.
Yep. And just the correction, they were up by as much as 12, not 10. So St. Georges has clawed their way back into this one. Temple Christian Suns trying to see the light of day. No luck there from Bethel. Off to the races now. Sammy Pinder A lot of contact, can't convert on it. Temple Christian not able to pull it down. Sammy Pinder going up and is fouled.
Yeah, you know he wanted one. He hasn't got much to drop. You know he wanted one. He wants to join Green in making this run. He wants to be able to say he was a part of this run. He was a part of this run
as well. And again, a phenomenal shift of tides here. Like we said, down 12, now up 3. That's a 15-point swing right now.
It's all by one man. Basically, virtually one man.
That foul that the Suns got away with on Green, apropos, may not have been all that good for them because, like you said, that did fire up Paul.
And how much has he scored since then?
I think he
maybe
scored
12.
I think he scored at least 12 at that point, probably.
Sometimes you just can't let your team lose.
Yep. Temple Christian looking for something. 8 seconds on the shot clock. 2-second differential between the two. TC can't hold on to it. St. George's. Sammy Pinder turns around, tries to get a hold of it. The rebound there from Temple Christian.
And you see how the tide is turned in terms of the turnover battle as well. And it seems that now it's Temple Christian that can't make a play without turning the ball over. Whereas Georges, they have now settled in with their offense. Their guards are being aggressive like they normally are. And their wing players have taken over the game.
Right now, at this point, Paul Green has 12 points for St. George's, 8 rebounds. And I'm pretty sure he's really picked up all of that after that foul.
But you got to think about it. It's just 12, but it's a big 12. The 12 he scored, it was flashy, in your face, so it kind of picks his team up.
And again, when I say 12, I wasn't saying that to minimize it. I mean, in a 6-quarter high school game, 12 is a lot of points.
No, and basically, it's not even the 12-minute game because he scored all of those points within 3 minutes, basically.
So here we're coming out to the 4th quarter between the Jaguars of St. George's taking on the Suns of Temple Christian. Temple Christian up by as much as 12. They trail 4 right now. St. George's 28, the Suns 24. The Jaguars looking, and who goes with the drive is Green again. He gets his own rebound, goes up for the second time, and it looks as if he's being fouled by Dayton Albury from Temple Christian to shoot another 2. And you just look around at the TC players, a lot of frustration on their faces.
Right, because they know now the position that they're in.
And I think they know and remember the position that they were in.
Right. But you want to know something that can happen too? If Georges gets up too much, Temple Christian might take their foot off the pedal knowing that they have a loss to play with.
TC Smith passes it around. Temple Christian sizes them up. A lot of battling going on in the upper post. Drive by Temple Christian. 3 seconds on the shot clock. That fired. No one in particular. And Dwayne Gale off to the races now.
Yeah, he just got stuck with that ball just now. Yeah.
A lot going on here. Not quite sure what happened to Dwayne there. I don't know if he got thrusted down and his head was hit or what. But we've got an experienced FIBA referee on this game, Christian Wilmore. He's refereed some of the top basketball, not in the Bahamas, but in the world. He's been at the World Cup several times. He's done the World Championships for junior men and junior women. So a lot of experience out there on this court today. So TC on the jump ball gets the ball back. Albury with the rock inside. Turnaround, Jay, no good from Edgecombe.
It's interesting to see if Edgecombe is going to try to force it. You know, he has a few exchanges with some St. George's players.
You know that was coming. Gale with the baseline drive is bumped. Like we said, he's only 5 foot some.
I think Coach Smith might want to even give him a breather for a bit.
Gale makes the second. It's probably the first of 2, I should say. As we get ready to wrap up this game, the next game is going to be an exciting one as well. C.I. Gibson, a proverbial basketball powerhouse, will take on Gateway Christian Academy out of Bimini. That game will be the next one up after this. Nail biter. Green with the drive, no good. Temple Christian off to the races. Aubrey on the drive is fouled. Looks as if the contact happened in the no charge semicircle. I think that's what the referee was indicating.
He could have picked which one of them he wanted to give that foul to.
Yeah.
They both went down at the same time.
Aubrey shooting 2, trying to will Temple Christian back into this.
Temple Christian has been bad at the free throw line in the second half.
Makes the second of 2. St. George's lead still 6, 31-25, 5:32 to go. Jaden Atkinson. The deep J, no good. George's back with it. Theodore Grant with the drive. And it looks as if at this point, St. George's cannot be stopped.
And there you go. Other players are now being aggressive. At first it was just Green or just Pinder. But you need your entire team to be aggressive to have a chance against a team so well-rounded like Temple Christian.
But still amazing. St. George's down by 12, now up by 8, 33-25 with 4:07 to go. Temple Christian takes a timeout. What's going to be said in this timeout?
It's either we're going to look forward to next game or we give it all we got right now. And not to get so personal with the game. Right? You notice a lot of back and forth, a lot of joy. You know, you've never seen this team before for the most part, so there's no need to get so heated. It's because it's taking them off their game. It's worked for Green, but it has an opposite effect for Temple Christian. So they just need to slow it down a bit, tempo-wise, and get back to that methodical kind of offense that they started off picking them apart with.
Well, you're seeing the TC huddle right now. They're up, trying to put something together. But when you saw just a few seconds ago, the St. George's huddle, they were relaxed, sitting down. Coach didn't have much to say. And I think that's very indicative of the way that this game has swung.
Yeah, when you got 2 players that can get it done and you have confidence in those players, you don't have to say much sometimes.
Atkinson out to Grant. Grant into Johnson. Johnson into Paul's hands. Paul goes up, and it looks like he's fouled by Gareth Edgecombe. I think that would be Edgecombe's 5th foul. And something that you talked about earlier, they're starting to drop a bit in terms of all these fouls, and these are some of their top players.
Well, what happened is the original back and forth between those two, it took them in 2 different directions. Edgecombe started to play overly aggressive, which hurt his team, whereas Green used it to his momentum, used it to his advantage, and he willed his team back in.
Green misses the first of 2. Connects on the second one. St. George's up 34-25. 3:52 to go in this 4th quarter and in regulation. Aubrey. Back in his hand. He thinks about it. Turnaround jumper. 3 whistles go off.
Aubrey is one of the rare players in the tournament that really uses the pick and roll. He really, really is effective on that pick and roll.
First free throw from Dayton Albury. Very errant. Second one as well. Pulling down the rebound is Butters. Oh, a lot of contact there on Jaden Atkinson. He can't hold on control to it. Green comes in, baseline drive. And just like that, up 11.
And that gives him a double-double now. So
Yep.
He's playing a great game.
TC.
Right now the Suns are playing like they have a loss to play with.
Yep. And they're just seemingly despondent as Atkinson brings down the rebound for St. George's. Travel call on Atkins. Wasn't quite sure I saw that travel on number 10, Jaden Atkinson, but here we are. To Leo Bethel with the rock. Back and forth with Nicholas Jones. Jones tries to take it himself. The strip there from Dwayne Gale. He can't hold on to it. It's picked back up by Nicholas Jones. Jones and the jam from Dayton Albury trying to pull something together right now for Temple Christian. Green into Atkinson. Atkinson gets his own rebound, goes up again, and is fouled.
Yeah, he's trying to make up for that travel and turnover.
I'm still not fully sold on that travel.
Yeah, Coach Says was on him. He was on him after that.
Jaden with 2 free throws. First one hits the back of the rim, bounces around. St. George is still up 36-27, 2:19 to go in the fourth. Jaden Atkinson at the line. His second free throw is good. And back up 10 right now. The Jaguars from St. George's. Temple Christian looking for something. Albury with the drive, no good. Back out into the hands of Butters. Butters pushes it up. Gale, back into the hands of Atkinson. Atkinson can't hold on to it. Butters pulls down the rebound. 13 on the shot clock. With the drive, hand off to Atkinson. Atkinson thinks about it twice. Gale, the floater. And who gets the rebound? Atkinson. He's playing for a spot on this team, it seems like.
Playing like a center.
At this point. Green driving all by himself and is fouled on that first move, but will still go to the line to shoot 2.
Yeah, just putting the finishing touches on a win that he led this team to.
A 22-point swing, down 12, up 10. Like we said, if there was any team that could do it, it would be the St. George's Jaguars under Coach Darryl Sears. First one good. 38-27. 39. Albury trying to take it himself again. Comes down crashing, helped up by both players. At least some good sportsmanship on both sides of the rock here.
Unfortunately, he's okay. You don't need any injuries because you still have to play again tomorrow.
Albury hits the first of 2. 39-28. Hits the second, 39-29. And I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibilities 3 3-pointers and you're right back in this game, but your defense is going to have to step it up real quick at this point.
Good ball movement.
Maybe they will. Off to the races, Theo Knowles.
A lot of people tend to start falling before the contact. That usually leads to a block and foul.
Dwayne Gale, he looks battered and smiling because I think he heard you. He was already leaning back.
And he's not that far from the floor as it is.
I'm glad you're a short person talking about another short person. Aubrey hits his free throws. And the timeout taken by the Jaguars of St. George's. So, I mean, this is not, like I said, 8 points in just over a minute. That's not out of the realm of possibilities for Temple Christian.
Yeah, but you got to know, they kind of wish Edgecombe was still available for them to do something for them down low. Right now, they're solely relying on their perimeter scoring.
So look at Coach Darryl Sears, really relaxed. His head is up, unlike in the first half, in the first quarter specifically, head down, but this team is coming out. Butters, number 15, really talking up his team right now. Temple Christian coming out very slow.
I think Sears shouted himself out in the first two quarters. This is all he has left at this point.
Under 2 minutes, the ball advances on the team, or the possibility of advancing, and so St. George's does advance it into the front court. 39-31, 104 to go in this high school championship game. St. George's eating up time, 6 seconds on the shot clock. Johnson driving, no good. Temple Christian with the rebound. Aubrey, desperation setting in. And it's going to be St. George's ball.
That's a tough turnover. That deflates everything you're trying to do at this point.
Green with the drive, no good. Butters cleans it up. 37 seconds to go, 10 points. Aubrey driving again. No luck. Butters pulls down the rebound for St. George's. Green thinks about it, pulls it back out, and this game is pretty much over at this point. 15 seconds to go. 6-second differential between the shot clock and game clock. The long three, no good. Temple Christian with the rebound. Pardon me. It actually was the St. George's Jaguars with the rebound. And what a very different game here from the first half to the second half. St. George's down by 12, able to pull off the 10-point win by being up by